Talking with the experts.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. My name's Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com. And Talking with the Experts is about all things business by business owners for business owners. And you can find it on all good podcasting streaming platforms and on YouTube. And today I have actually two guests, which is the first for TWE. And my first guest is Dr. Elizabeth Pritchard. And her little bio says, from never fitting in, bullied at school, sexually abused as a child, to becoming an occupational therapist and past president of Occupational Therapy Association New Zealand. She is a researcher at Monash University who nailed her PhD in 3 years. Wow, that's an achievement. And a leadership coach. Elizabeth's story shows how anyone can triumph over adversity and fundamentalist upbringing, deep pain and limiting beliefs to rise up and step into their own power and authenticity. Yes. And my second guest is Ms. Christine Burns. And from being a shy, reserved child, learning how many lessons the hard way, Christine developed incredible skills to always bounce back, or bounce forward, I should say, no matter what. Today, she has represented New Zealand in indoor hockey for 13 years, including 4 years captaining the team. And during this time, she graduated university with expertise in psychology, sports psychology, exercise science, and business management, and forged a career as a lecturer, manager, and performance coach of individuals and teams. Wow, ladies, very impressive.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show, Elizabeth and Christine.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Now, if I start calling you Liz Elizabeth, just slap me. So tell me a little bit more. I mean, I was sexually abused as a child as well. So I do understand all that pain and heartache and growing up and all those limiting beliefs and all those sorts of things. So how did you overcome yours?
Well, it's been a sort of quite a journey in life, definitely, and, because of all the stigma around it, because of the background that I have, and lots of things that sort of happened throughout my lifestyle and life plan around what happened as I grew up. So it was obviously not talked about in the 60s and 70s. It's not something you really talked about much, and it wasn't in the media, it wasn't in social conversations. And so I learned to hide it, and I learned to sort of push it down. And it was part of the reasoning that I believed that I wasn't enough to achieve anything, that I wasn't enough to be heard, and has led really into what we do now in our business, and give people a voice and empower them to know that they are enough to lead themselves and others authentically. So there's been heaps of work that I've done, heaps of learning that I've done. It's all about mindset. It's about forgiving myself. It's about being able to forgive what the person did in a way, not forgive the actual what they did as an abuse, because there's never a right way for somebody to be abused. It's never right. It's always
it's empowering, isn't it? Even as a child, you feel disenfranchised, you feel disempowered, and you just feel ignored and not loved and all those sorts of things. So yeah, I can totally relate to that. And it was not until my 50s that I realized that I was actually worthy of something.
Yeah, and so it's a life journey. But what I've totally learned in relation to being authentic is that it's part of me. It's out there. Like the first time I put it on the website, it was like, oh, holy crap. Oh, what's the ramifications of this? But it's like, it's me. It's part of me. All the experiences I've had in my life are part of who I am today. And that's the exciting thing about being authentic.
Yeah, I totally agree. I've actually shared my story on 2 international summits within the last 2 weeks. One was quite raw in the story I shared, and the one I shared yesterday was a bit toned down. So, but sharing my story has made others realise that, you know, they're not alone, and they got a lot out of it, which was really wonderful.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, valuable to do that.
It is. And Christine, and tell me a little bit more about your background, please.
It's wide and varied. I never did very good at school and always thought I was Joe average. And then I thought, hey, I'll go to university. So I went to university and I chose to do psychology because originally I was like, okay, I'll just do something that is easy. And that way I can keep playing hockey for my country and go overseas and do all those cool things. Little did I realize that psychology wasn't easy, but it held a real interest for me. And I totally got into the whole side of like the forensic side and the performance side of, like why people do what they do. And that was the cool thing that sort of drew me in. And then from there, I was like, hey, can I put the psychology stuff with my sport and then help myself? And then I sort of kept going from there. I ended up shifting down to Wellington so I was in Palmerston North originally and then shifted south in New Zealand, obviously, and played for Wellington because they wanted me to be their goalkeeper. So I had to find a job down there because I was going there no matter what for hockey. Found a job there, started lecturing in exercise science because I was able to fill in for those papers and courses that they needed. And then I sort of went from there to sports psychology to positive psychology. I was working with New Zealand School of Dance, Royal New Zealand Ballet, different athletes, different teams, international teams as well myself. And then it's just been this whole thing about performance is why do people do what they do? And how can I use my expertise, my experience, my qualifications, all those kinds of things to help everyone else, do the best that they possibly can and perform at an even higher level because we all can. And that's the thing that I really want to pull to the whole area of STEM is for me, life is about team because I played in a sports team and you can't do anything on your own. So there's the whole sports team thing that comes through. So go as a team and you'll get more done and you'll do more, you'll achieve more and do that thing of increase your own performance and then you'll actually perform and then you get dong, 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 and everybody does so much better in the whole team.
Yeah, I agree about mindset. I mean, a lot of, to be an achiever, you have to have a positive mindset. It's no good having a negative one. Otherwise, you just won't go anywhere. And I, as a business owner and as a sports player and, anything in life, I guess. And so, Elizabeth, knowing what, doing what you do as an occupational therapist, how does that equate to your background in that field, and how does that mindset help your patients?
So I'm no longer a practicing therapist. I now work in our business, coaching and training individuals in STEM, and also research. So I work in that area now. I've moved out of actually patients after about 30 years.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, that's fine. But it's like mindset is everything, and we can always improve what our mindset is because people often say they've got positive mindset, but positive mindset usually crumbles when it's placed under adversity. And so it's about that whole side of optimism and hope. And those things are part of the characteristics of authentic leadership. And so it's like, what is the optimistic mindset that people have? Because we can't just stand there and go, oh, I'm so positive. Everything's so positive. Here's Pollyanna glasses. We can't see things through rose-tinted glasses because it's just an absolute lot of BS. And it stands in our way of seeing the real truth and being able to recognize our strengths from within and then move forward. So mindset is absolutely everything in what anybody does in a day. How you get up in the morning. Do you get up in a grump and have to rely on caffeine or sugar or whatever to keep you going?
Yes, please. Caffeine. No, I couldn't start my day without tea or coffee.
Or do you jump out of bed and you go, okay, what's in it for today? How can I serve people today? And it's like mindset is everything from every moment of what we do every day.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I mean, sometimes it's hard to motivate yourself, though, I think, and, get the mindset just in the right place. But,
that's what we specialise in, Rose.
Sorry?
That's what we specialise in.
Yeah. That's it. Now, you specialise in STEM, which for those who don't know is the science, technology, engineering, maths and medicine. So that is quite a well, becoming more prominent now, I guess, is all of them combined. And I know that a lot of establishments, institutions is trying to get more women involved in STEM. How does your organisation WALT, the WALT Institute, how do they empower women to do that?
The basis that we come from with that is, like Elizabeth said before, so everybody deserves to have a voice, everybody deserves to have a place. And so what we're doing is we target women in that sense, but we often have about 20 to 25% males in all of our workshops when we have them face to face, and also online as well. And so the thing that we come at it with is from the positive psychology side and use authentic leadership. So authentic leadership is that whole side of self-awareness, self-regulation, the part of psychological capital, which involves hope, efficacy, resilience, and optimism. And then the other part that's key in there is agency. And so when we talk about, yes, it is all about mindset, but it's about you bringing yourself. So you've got to be able to lead yourself first before you lead others. And to do that, you need to be self-aware. And that's not just, oh, I know what I like and what I don't like. It's like, what do you do? How do you feel? Who do you be when you're under pressure, when you're excited, when you've got deadlines, when you've got someone sitting opposite you that you might not gel with? Or how do you work in different collaborative situations to be able to apply for grants with different teams, or when you put yourself out there, it's like, hey, you might get really nervous about things. Yeah, it's the same as feeling excitement too. So which one are you going to choose? So we really target the whole thing also about self-regulation. It's not the high highs, not the low lows. It's that ability to self-regulate. And that brings out your strengths, brings out the best in you. And then we really plug the side of the hope, the efficacy, the resilience, and the optimism, so that people are then dedicated or committed to be able to take action. And in STEM, there's a lot of women who, go into STEM and then decide to have a family, or for whatever other reasons, they decide to step back for a while and then they go back. And then there's discrimination, or there's a whole lot of other stuff that happens on the way through. And just those things also of, there's a lot less women in the higher levels of leadership and the higher levels of executives as well in those institutions and organizations. And
that's what we have to fix.
Yeah. And it's like that two-pronged approach, because we go, or some people go, we have to fix the system. Yeah, but who's going to fix the system? You. So I have to do what? Yeah. And then it's like, when I'm strong and I'm confident and I'm self-aware and I'm able to self-regulate, then I can put my best foot forward. And then I'm able to work in those different teams and groups with a different approach. And that's, I mean, like, honestly, for my mission in this stuff is to turn that STEM industry on its head. Absolutely turn it inside out and on its head, so that we take away all that traditional BS and we instigate an authentic way forward for everybody that's in there.
Yeah, I totally agree there. Now, I don't know if you've heard of Sam Cawthorn. He is the founder of the Speakers Institute here in Australia. And one of his favourite sayings is called Bounce Forward. He actually wrote a book called Bouncing Forward. So, yeah, that really caught my eye when it was written in your little media kit here. So he doesn't believe in bouncing back. There's only bouncing forward. So, yeah.
Yeah, because if you bounce back, you just go back to the same place that you've always been. And who
Correct.
wants to stay there?
Yeah.
I want to bounce forward. I want to learn from what I've got. I want to learn from adversity. I want to be able to recognize it, because we need to call it as is and be truthful and honest about it. And then I want to go, so what can I learn from this? And then bounce forward.
Yeah, that's his philosophy. Yeah, he was in a really serious car accident a few years ago and lost his arm and nearly lost his life. And he's just an amazing person. But anyway, so how do you teach people to perform at their best, and how that can be totally authentic?
Yeah, sure. So how can we be authentic? We need to know who we are. We need to know what our BS is, what our limiting beliefs are. You mentioned beliefs before, Rose. It's like, what are those limiting beliefs that hold us back? Yeah. I always believed that I was a failure and I wasn't enough and I didn't deserve things. And so they were my limiting beliefs. And whatever I did, there was always something holding me back and I didn't know what it was. And so when I was aware of those, and when I had a coach that helped me through understanding what they were and how to shift them, then I could stand into anything. I could step into anything. I could stand up for what I believed in, and I could say, actually, I don't agree with that, and maybe there's a different way of looking at this. And I could influence and inspire people to potentially shift where they were at and what they do. And so we share these simple strategies, really simple strategies that you can do in 2 and 3 and 5 minutes at a time, because everybody's busy, of course, and everybody's doing their stuff. And it's like, how can we put these things in 2 and 3 and 5 minutes, 10 minutes at a time, and just shift things around? And so we've got evidence-based strategies that absolutely work, tried and true. We know it from our clients, we know it from research, and we constantly see this amazing growth and development from people being able to step into things and they go, oh my gosh, I actually applied for that job. I didn't think that I could because I thought it was too high for me. Or, oh my goodness, I asked them to mentor me because I really respect their work. Or some people have had this conversation with the head of the dean of the faculty, and they're setting up their own labs, whereas before they always thought they were only ever going to work in somebody else's lab. And it's just growing their abilities, their strengths, their confidence. And it's just incredible to see the growth and development of the people we work with. It's amazing.
Yeah, so I guess to achieve the ultimate authentic leadership, you need to be unleashing your rebel talents. So how does one identify their rebel talents?
The way to look at rebel talents is not to be, you're not wanting to build a rebellion. You're wanting to have a revolution by pulling on your rebel talents. And your rebel talents are things like curiosity, innovation, your authenticity, being able to draw on those strengths that you actually have yourself and then bring those forward. And it's the whole idea is to push the status quo, and it's not that thing to go, oh, I'm going to totally rebel against it and not do what they want me to. I'm going to say no to all the rules and boundaries. The thing to do with pulling on your rebel talents is to be able to instigate who you are, is to be curious in those situations, and things might not be going your way, and say, okay, so how could I do this different? And one of the things that we always say to our clients is to instigate the questions of how can I, what would it take? And those are 2 key questions that help people to draw on those rebel talents to go, how can I do this? How can I do it differently? How can I do this with my strengths? How can I do this with different people? Whatever it might be. And then that also things of what would it take? It means that you're going to do it. It doesn't mean that you're going to sit back there and do nothing. It means you're going to put action. You're going to take action. And the thing with the rebel talents is to go, it's to actually go like far left field and think, what would they do in a different industry? What would I do if I had everything that I wanted sitting in front of me? And it's, Francesca Gino is the ultimate person and does a massive amount of research identifying what rebel talents are and how to use them. And her book is phenomenal based on rebel talents. And it's just, she's the queen of research in that area. And it's that real thing of people either love it or they don't. And they're either confident enough to step in there and put their neck out and ignite their rebel talents and build a revolution, or they choose to sit back there and stay in the status quo and not ask themselves about being curious or innovative or being authentic or any of those types of things.
That's absolutely me. I can't not do something that's different. I'm just out there too much.
It also links really strongly to boundary setting as well.
Yeah.
And this is something that many of our people that we work with have difficulty going no.
That's one of me too. Yeah, I don't say no very often.
Because in the world of STEM, it's like, but I might not get the next project, or I might not get the next grant, or this might be the golden opportunity, or what if. And many of our contracts are only year by year as academics and some researchers. And it's like there's this huge pressure on people as well to say yes and work those 60, 70 hours a week and nobody even bat an eyelid. And it's like, we need to be able to be empowered to say, actually, no, I am going to have a life outside of this. I am going to look after my health. I am going to spend some time with my family, and I will not feel guilty about not getting this done by Monday. And that takes it's tough. It takes people a lot of gumption basically to do that.
Yeah,
it does.
We teach them how to we teach them how to step into those things and ignite, like you're saying, Christine, ignite those rebel talents and be able to do that as well.
So what is one piece of advice, ladies, that you would give to someone wanting to become an authentic leader in STEM? And Christine, I'll start with you.
One piece of advice is really the first piece is go to our website at waltinstitute.com and you can jump in and find tools and
big plug there. Yep, go on.
So, there's things
Particularly one on becoming an authentic leader.
Yeah,
that's it.
Becoming an authentic leader, because there's so much in it, and it's that thing to go. One piece of advice that I would give to anybody is to draw on their authentic leadership talents, and find out who they are in here, find out who they be. My biggest push for anybody that is wanting to be an authentic leader is to get a coach and get in here and identify who you be, not what you do, not what you have, because really I don't care. And quite happy to say that to all of our clients, and then we talk about it. It's who you be. And when you tap into your top 6 inches and tap into your heart and then join them, then when you get over your BS, you can work out who you be. And then that is you being your authentic self. And then that will take you so much further than having a whole lot of do and have.
Right. Yeah. I'll just put it out there. And you, Elizabeth?
So one piece of advice to being an authentic leader. Oh, there's so many. One piece of advice. One piece of advice. I think the first thing is to recognize that we are all leaders. That leadership is not about a title. You don't have to be the team leader, the supervisor, the manager, the whatever. We are all leaders. Otherwise, we wouldn't get out of bed in the morning. We lead ourselves first, and then we lead others. And the extensive ripple effect we have on other people's lives by how we show up every day, like I was saying at the beginning, on what we choose to be our state, how we show up, the words we use, how we treat other people, our self-regulation, our self-awareness, all of that is all about authentic leadership. And so many people go, oh, but I'm not a leader, so I don't need to know these things. However, we all need to know these things. We all need to jump in and learn the amazing strategies of how to lead ourselves effectively and authentically, because then you will earn more. Yep. You will get more promotions. Yes. You will attract better people around you for support. And your life will be much more satisfying with meaning beyond yourself because you're being more authentic.
Yep, perfectly perfect. So, ladies, what is the one thing that you want to leave behind as your authentic legacy? And Elizabeth, I'll start with you this time.
Okay, my authentic legacy is to, and this is part of our vision for our company as well, to create a global community of empowered women in STEM. And that may sound a bit twee, that may sound a bit trite, but that when I start talking about that stuff, it gets me here, and it's my why. It's my why. My why is to leave a legacy of empowered women who absolutely, totally, 100% believe that they are enough, that their past does not define them going forward, that they can embrace and step into anything they actually dream to be. Yep.
And you, Christine?
Similar kind of thing is I want it to be a global thing, and the thing that I want to leave behind, apart from my book that I'm writing, is the big deal of being able to take who you are as a person and bounce forward no matter what comes at you. There is always a way, and that you use that to perform at your best every single day. And for me, it's in STEM, because I know it's a challenging, demanding industry, and I know there's a lot of tradition in there. So what I want to do is turn that industry on its head, inside out, get them to start looking forward, get them to all start bouncing forward, and being able to draw on who they be. And that way they're going to perform so much better than they do. And most people have no idea pretty much all. Most people have no idea how strong they are. and people are much stronger than they think they are in any given situation. And for me, it's that thing to go, you know what, you are way stronger than you think you are, and you can achieve whatever you want to achieve as long as you get that in the right place at the right time. And for me, that's how STEM is going to change that. And that's why I want to leave that as a legacy, to go, oh my gosh, those two women were instigators in that. They were part of that whole global change. And that's what I'm leaving behind.
Elizabeth, you've been listening to my talks, because my talk is my past did not define my future, my path to healing. So there you go.
I have checked out a couple, but I didn't notice that one, Rose.
There you go. Christine, tell me about your book.
My book is it's about resilience, and it's based on my cancer diagnosis that I had in 2016. So it's a bit of it's not a story, it's more of a, it's got part story, it's got part cool stuff, and then it's sort of like a teaching memoir, I suppose, is what it is. So I've got first draft of the entire book done, and the thing for me is, I remember the day that I got the diagnosis on the 2nd of November 2016, and I took the phone call, and when she said, oh, by the way, we got the pathology results back and you've got endometrial cancer, the first two words that came out of my mouth were, huh, and so they carried on for about 2.5 minutes, and then I was like, right. And the thing that went through my head is I stopped and I went, right, you guys can do your thing medically, and I'll do my thing physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And from that day forward, I took control of me, because I can, and that's the only thing I can control. And they did their thing. And I had such a completely different mindset. I had nowhere near as many bad side effects as what they were always going to say I was going to get. Bounced forward all of those ways, and I practiced what I preached. And for me, great lessons. And so I want to share that with people, is that you don't have to go something like that. You don't have to go through something like that with such a woe is me, go the garden, eat worms kind of approach. And there's always lessons to be learned out of no matter what adversity you face.
Congratulations. That's a great outlook on life. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the only one.
Yeah. So finally, Elizabeth, I'm going to go to you and say, how can anyone be an authentic leader other than, yourself? How so, outside of yourself?
Yeah, sure. So anybody can be an authentic leader, and it's a matter of working through and understanding the principles of psychological capital, self-awareness, self-regulation, and agency. And so to be able to do that, it's awareness brings change. So people need to become aware of what they do and how they do it, to open up, be a little bit vulnerable at times, not be a doormat,
no,
but be vulnerable with strength and courage when needed, and to be able to step into feeling that they are confident, and it's like, oh, I can do this. We're having people recently who we did a training on leading meetings and courageous conversations, and people are going, oh my gosh, I followed the script and it worked. It was like, yep, no, it does. It's so cool. And so they're going, I'm being much more authentic, because I'm not hiding away from conflict. I'm not pretending it's not happening, like fingers in the ears going la 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 la, I'm not looking. It's like, it doesn't go away. And if we're wanting to build more authentic leaders in STEM, then each individual needs to be able to step into their own authentic, unique, amazing, innate strength, power, and move forward.
Absolutely. And I didn't ask you, Elizabeth, have you written anything other than your thesis?
Yes, I'm international published author on many medical and allied health journals for my research. And we've also had articles recently in the American Reporter, the London Daily Post,
California Herald,
Thrive Global,
Medium.
Oh, wow, pretty much everywhere.
Yeah. And also, I'm also writing a book as well. Yeah.
Oh, cool. And so what does WALT stand for?
Women Authentic Leadership Training.
Well, that's excellent. Now, I want to thank you so much for coming here today. It was really enlightening. I so enjoyed it. And really good luck with your STEM and getting, the change in the world on getting women around, especially to get more of them involved in STEM, because it really does need to happen. I think there's just not enough women in the area, and you're right, it is because it's a male dominated thing, and there's a lot of discrimination that happens. It has to stop.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you so much for
Thank you
having
so
us.
much.
And people can find us on
I'm sorry, I didn't think I was so excited having such famous people on. Yes, please, ladies, please do share where people can find you.
Okay, cool. So it's at waltinstitute.com, and we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn.
Yeah, they'll be posted in the show notes anyway. So
and you can hook in, and we do free trainings, we do free 5-day challenges, we have lots of resources that are free. So if you're wanting to pop into any of those, you can look out for those types of things and the opportunities of our next free training coming up as well.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And I look forward to talking to you again maybe soon.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Rose.
much.